Oh, hey there. Can we please talk about UFC Fight Night 205? It says it's Fight Night 205. I could have sworn that was the last one, but that's what it says. It says it's Fight Night 205. I got my America hat on. I got this in Gatlinburg in Tennessee. It was a good time. Good time. I had a bloody good time away. But now it's time to pick some fights again. So this one's headlined by Lemos. I think it's saying Lemos or Lemos, and Amanda Lemos versus Jessica Andrade. It's UFC Fight Night 205 allegedly. So let's make some picks and stay with me for the Burt Locker Fights in 15 for UFC Fight Night 205. Lemos versus Andrade. So, I'm going to start off in the light heavyweight division with a chap that we haven't seen for a little while, Mr. Tyson Pedro. Now, Tyson Pedro, he's a good fighter. He's very, very good, actually. I mean, he was on a bit of a roll, but then I think he lost. Had a couple of losses. We haven't seen him since 2018, where he lost to Shogun Hua, and he was on a bit of a roll, but then, like I said, he had that loss. I don't know why it is that we haven't seen him, but he's one of these guys that came over with the wave of Australian fighters. He was really highly touted. Like I said, he took a couple of losses. What are his notable wins? Let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick look at the old Burt database. He beat Paul Craig and Khalil Roundtree. Like those are two very, very good wins, right? So his opponent, you've got Ike Villaneva. Now, I think Villaneva used to fight. He's fought at heavyweight at some point, I do believe. So the height is the same, but Pedro is going to have a 6-inch reach advantage, which is mental considering they're the same height. That is weird. But Tyson Pedro, he is like a submission guy. Like, you know, he's got 5 of his 7 wins by submission. He loves getting a rear naked choke. Do you know what I mean? Because he's got, how many rear naked chokes has he got? Because he is a black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And yeah, he's got three rear naked chokes, 1 guillotine. And yeah, I think that really what we need, what we're going to find out is what Tyson Pedro we're going to see. Because how old is he? He's 30. He's only 30. So actually, you know what? He's got plenty of miles left on the clock. Ike Villaneva is like 38, right? The problem I have with Villaneva for this fight is that he has been submitted like 5 times. And he's lost 4 out of his last 5. He's not on a good run at all. So for me, Tyson Pedro to get the submission is probably the most likely outcome. And if you're betting on that on PokerStars, it wouldn't let me do just the submission, but it would just let me do picking a round. So I've gone round 2 submission because the layoff, I think maybe it might be a little bit of a slow start. I've gone round 2 submission for Tyson Pedro. That is 9-1 on PokerStars, but actually Sky Bet now have their odds up. So just Tyson Pedro to win by submission is 2.88. I quite like that, actually. That's not a bad bet at all. So yeah, they're all terrible bets. Terrible bet. Tyson Pedro by submission, 2.88. Adding that to the bet slip. So then you've got Dwight Grant versus Sergey Kandosko. Kandosko. Anyway, Dwight, he's a little bit older. But yeah, his notable wins, he beat Alan Juban. He has a very slight reach advantage. Now, Grant is known as the body snatcher. He's allegedly got some very good body shots. I do think that Dwight Grant, he's got 5 UFC fights and it's only 2 for Sergey. So Sergey's losses are by decision half the time that he loses. Now, I think that Grant is this is probably going to be a standing fight. I think if it does say standing, Dwight Grant has probably got the slight edge. But this one, really, it's a complete toss-up. Because I don't know either of the fighters well enough to kind of make that much of a decision. Like, I have seen Dwight before and he was actually quite impressive on the feet. So for that reason, I am going to just go with Dwight Grant. I'm going to go for the KO or decision is 2.05 on PokerStars. Let's have a look at what it is on. It's 3.75 to get the knockout, but honestly, I can't really decide between, because he is the underdog, only ever so slightly. I do like I said, because Sergey's not like a world beater. Double chance, Grant, TKO decision is +2. You're getting even money on that. So yeah, that's a terrible bet. Terrible bet. Hedging your bets is terrible. Betting on somebody that you don't really know, terrible. Or awful. Because yeah, this one's a bit of a coin toss. I will enjoy watching it though, because I can add them to the old Burt database. So then you've got this one I am sure about, because Alexander Romanov, the Moldovan smashing machine, is most likely going to smash Chase Sherman. Most likely in round number 1. Because look, I don't want to say that Sherman has 0 chance, but it's slim. Right, because Romanov is 15-0 and it's pick your poison. He's got 8 submissions, 6 knockouts, only 1 decision. Now, the way that Sherman fights typically is that he's going to stand and trade, and I think that's a mistake here. I think, honestly, anywhere it goes is a mistake for Sherman. Having said that, watch Sherman pull one out of the bag now. But, yeah, Sherman, he's up against it with this one, honestly. Romanov, he's 15-0 for a reason. He has been smashing people. He knocked out Vandera in round 1. He just keeps on getting knockouts. Like, you know, he barely goes out the first round most of the time. So, for me, the smart money is definitely on Romanov to win. But that's all you can get at the moment on Sky Bet and on PokerStars. They're not doing any other markets on it. Literally, Romanov to win, 1.06. Terrible bet, because look, end of the day, if you're looking for an underdog, like, have a go on, like, Sherman is 8.5. That's 7.5 to 1 against just to get the win, right? They're heavyweights. If they're going to stand and trade and Sherman catches him, I've seen stranger shit happen. It's not like Romanov is beating the best of the best of the best at the moment, right? So, I'm not saying that Sherman's going to win. I really don't think he will. I do think Romanov is probably better in every area. But hey, 7.5 to 1. That's worth a small bet. I'm not making that bet this week, but I would encourage it. If you're looking for an underdog to bet on, heavyweights, crazy shit can happen when that leather's flying at heavyweight. Sherman, 7.5 to 1. I actually really like that. Have I talked myself into this? Is this happening? Am I putting this bet on? Oh, this bet might be going on. Yeah, screw it. You know what? I'm putting a quid on that. £1. £1 on Chase Sherman to win. Just because. Why the fuck not, eh? Why not? Fucking crazy, Burt. God, you're a madman. And then you've got the main event. This main event is actually really good. It's Amanda Lemos. I think it's Lemos. Lemos against... I don't know why I'm saying that like a Dutch person. Shall we? Lemos? Hey, Amanda Lemos. You want to come for a smoke and a pancake? No? Sorry, that's terrible. Jessica Andradge, we all know who Jessica Andradge is. You know, she slammed Rose on her head, the poor little petal. And yeah, just Andradge. The thing I like about Andradge, she reminds me a little bit of like a kind of a female strawweight Wanderlei Silva. She's like a bit of a wrecking ball. You know, she's got massive traps. She'll go in there and just fucking swing. And if she catches you, then you're going out, right? Lemos is slightly newer to the scene. Her biggest win, obviously, over Angela Hill. There was only a split decision, though, and that was the last time we saw her. However, Lemos is very good stand-up. Like, her style is heavy Muay Thai, right? And she's going to have a very slight reach advantage, very slight. But one thing that I think goes in her favour in this fight is that she rips leg kicks like nothing else. And they are nasty as well. Nasty, nasty leg kicks. Heavy Muay Thai style, heavy leg kicks. And I think she's probably going to unload with those early. Because then that's going to limit Andradge's movement. And the thing is, Andradge is going to have to get in on the inside because it's only a slight reach disadvantage, but it is there. And Andradge, typically, she throws a kind of wide looping punches rather than the straight punches down the middle. And in order to get on the inside to get those, she's going to have to move. If you can limit her movement by ripping those legs, that's going to limit her ability to play to her strengths, which I think is what Lemos is most likely to do. Lemos, normally, she controls the centre of the octagon. She's usually very good at like marching forwards, taking control of the centre and ripping those leg kicks, slowing her opponent down and then going in. She kind of has her hands like low like this, right? And she'll fucking rip up that way and she'll rip over the top. And either one are lethal. I really like Lemos in this fight. Lemos is an underdog. If you want an underdog that's got a better chance than Chase Sherman, then pick Amanda Lemos in this fight. Because I like Andradge. Don't get me wrong, Andradge is the biggest test of Lemos' career by far, like up to this point. And she, you know, Andradge, she's got a great ground game, BJJ black belt. If she can get this to the ground, then Lemos could be in trouble, because Lemos does prefer to kickbox. She's you know, predominantly a stand-up fighter, but she's quite good at stopping the takedowns as well, which is where she's I think she might find some more success. If you see what she did to Souza, that's right, and go back and watch Lemos versus Souza. That's a really, really good fight. It's a free fight on YouTube, but you'll see that's a very good example of the vicious stand-up that Amanda Lemos is capable of. Now, as I said, I think Andradge, the path to victory for Andradge is to get in close, get possibly a body hook, a body lock, sorry, and to get it down to the ground. I don't think she doesn't typically shoot in for doubles, but like a lot of the time the jiu-jitsu players will go in and they'll get like a single leg and move from there, and they'll grab the top and then they'll get the takedown. But no matter how it gets done, I think Andradge really needs to get a takedown in this fight. I don't actually think Andradge is going to do too well on the feet against Amanda Lemos, because we've seen Andradge struggle with rangier fighters before. Against Rose Namajunas, before she slammed her on her head in that first fight, you know, Nunes was having it all her own way. And then she lost the rematch, and I actually thought that Andradge... I didn't think Rose looked as good in the rematch, honestly. I was surprised that she won that one. But either way, irregardless, Andradge does tend to struggle a little bit with the rangier fighters, because I mean, it's obviously where she struggled against Shevchenko as well. And I think Lemos is a similar challenge. I think Lemos, she's not quite as tight as, you know, as technical as Valentina Shevchenko, but actually I think maybe her style might be a little bit more vicious in places, because she honestly throws heavy, like, and she hits as well. She's very good at picking the shots, hitting the target, throwing heavy leg kicks, and I think Lemos by knockout in this one. Plus, knockout or decision is 2.75. That is on PokerStars. Let's just have a quick look at what it is on Skybet, because they have got the odds up here now. They didn't last night when I was preparing. So the double chance Lemos TKO decision, 2.63. That's actually a really... That's not a bad price at all. You're getting 4.33 on the knockout. It is a 5-rounder. You might be best off going for the knockout here, honestly, because, like I said, Lemos, she hits really hard. It is going to be a knockout or a decision if it goes Lemos's way. But I am actually going to. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop being a pussy about things. I am going to stop hedging my bets. I'm going to go Amanda Lemos by knockout / TKO, and that is 4.33, so you're getting 3.5 to 1 on that. That is a terrible bet. Jessica Andradge is like a beast. She's one of the best people that she's ever fought, but I don't know, I'm very high on Amanda Lemos. I think we see a much better Amanda Lemos than we saw against Angela Hill. I think that over 5 rounds she can find the stoppage as long as she attacks those legs early, so I'm taking Amanda Lemos by knockout / TKO. And just want to say, you know, obviously if you're watching on Patreon right now, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your support. And also, you know, just thank you everyone for watching. If you're watching this on the YouTube on the Saturday, thank you. Really appreciate it. If you could like, share, subscribe, all that kind of thing. And until next time, I'm going to be wrapping these bets up. We'll see how well they did, how shit they did on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. But until then, keep those odds long and those bets terrible.